Hello, hello. Oh, more people are waiting in the waiting room. View. Mladen, Renat. We'll let everybody join. Oh. Oh.
Hey guys.
Hello. How's everybody?
All good. How are you?
Thanks.
Very good. So my apologies. I got home on time. I was quickly setting up a whiteboard that I'm going to start doing like explanations and presentations with. And then when I went to set up the Zoom, it decided it wouldn't let me click on everything. But everybody's here anyway. So that is all good. How's everybody else?
Good.
Okay, then what we might do while we're waiting for everybody else to come, we might quickly introduce ourselves so that everybody who is new gets to know everybody else that was here last week and the other times. So, Renat, since you are the most vocal up to this point, would you like to start by introducing yourself? And then we'll go around and get everybody else to introduce themselves. And then, yes, this would be a good start.
My name is Renat, second time here. So I played the game 2 weeks ago. Recently new to Australia, I can say, about 4.5 years now. And started my investing journey about 2-3 years ago, maybe. I mean, although I read all the Kiyosaki books when I was in year 10 in school, but I don't know, somehow just got caught up in life, I guess. That's it. Yeah, I work in IT and at a school in Sydney.
In where in Sydney?
Preston's, Liverpool.
Ah, Preston's, yes. I know that.
College.
Yes. Okay, very good. Then, shall we let's have a look. Bailey, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Sure, Menno. So I'm Bailey. Fairly new to all this, so excited to learn. I've been in lockdown in Melbourne and I was working outside school hours care. But unfortunately that profession had closed down during the pandemic. So I'm looking for something more stable at the moment, but I want to start investing once I'm working because I'm not going to stay young forever. So, yeah.
We all stay young forever, don't we?
Well, I know, I am 35, but I don't want to get to the age of 70 and go, well, I haven't invested or something like that. So I want to start learning the ropes now, and I would like to buy a house in the next 24 months or something. So, yeah.
Yes, the younger the better. I will definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the introduction. And then Mladen.
Hello, my name is Mladen, and I play Cash for Fall. It's about 2 years, and I didn't like realism. What is in board games? So I wanted to make something better, something even bigger and better. That's why we're playing now today this online version. And yes, I'm looking for like-minded people to continue my education to become financially independent. That's for me.
Yes. Okay, very good. And then Ethel is my VA, so she is joining.
Yeah, hi there.
Hi
there, everyone.
This is very unexpected. Would you like to also quickly introduce yourself then, Ethel?
Yeah, hi there. My name is Ethel Joy. Yeah, I'm the VA of Menno. I do all the follow-ups, and yeah, sometimes maybe I'm the one you chat with. So yeah, nice to meet you all. I'm very excited to meet everyone here in Cashflow.
Yes, so Ethel is the brains behind the operation and make sure that we have people to play with, which is always exciting because every game is more exciting when there is more than one person to play with. Games are not very much fun on your own. And usually Ethel is just watching in the background to make sure that everything is going well. And if I am not present, she'll send me a message to make sure that I am here. So I wasn't sure whether Ethel was going to respond, but she's here. So this is really nice. And then she might be a bit busy later on and need to go somewhere else. But it's nice to actually have you here and sharing today.
Yeah, thank you, Menno.
Okay.
And nice to meet everyone. Renat, Mladen, and Bailey. I hope you will enjoy this online game.
I am sure we will. Renat already knows the game. Mladen obviously created the game, and I'm sure that Bailey will enjoy today as well. So,
and of course, after just being VA doesn't mean that she is not allowed to join us.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Sure.
Ethel,
I always watch the replay.
Yes, Ethel's always watching the replay, and Ethel has a little daughter who she needs to look after usually at this time. But yes, you are most welcome to join if you'd like to, obviously.
Sure. I'll just be here listening.
Yes. All good. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And then Renat and Mladen obviously already know how to get into the game. So Bailey, this is a little bit more for you. So you can see on my screen, I've opened up moneyuniversity.ddns.net/ and I'm just going to not even read the whole thing. I'm just going to put it into the chat. If it lets me get to it, there we go. And then you can just copy and paste, which is a lot easier than me reading the whole thing out and seeing if you can memorize it and then type it in. So that is a much easier way of doing it.
Menno.
Yes.
Before you move to our game, can you please show Ethel Money University for Kids?
Yes, I will quickly click on that one.
I don't know how all these.
Yeah. All right.
And there are lots of really interesting videos and stories in there. With this Warren Buffett teaching the children different things.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
Yes. Okay, so once everybody is there, if you go to Cash Flow Simulator and click on the little blue link underneath that, it will take you to this page. And if you are new, you need to sign up at the bottom. If you no longer have subscription, you need to sign up as well. And otherwise, if you have the subscription, you can sign in at the top. So depending on which one you are, you can fill in the details and then hit either sign in or register. And then I'll hit sign in. And then I'll see you on the inside, which looks like this. Let me know if you have any challenges. Or Mladen. Mladen is the one that can troubleshoot all technical issues, because he is the technical one out of the two of us. Definitely Mladen, not me. Renat is in. I can see the thumbs up. How are you going, Bailey?
So you guys just basically developed this game yourselves?
So Mladen started.
I can open it. I'm not sure. I can't open on my end.
Were you copy and paste?
Site can't be reached. Something like that.
So were you able to open up moneyuniversity.ddns.net?
I can I click the link, but it's not opening it. It looks like this. I'm not so sure why. I don't think I can send a picture here.
If I stop sharing, then I can allow sharing, and then you are able to.
Yeah, I might try to share my screen.
Okay, now you should be able to share the screen. Then Mladen will be able to have a look as well.
This one. It's something like this. I'm not so sure with Bailey.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah.
Or we can.
Can you open the?
I'm just signing into my user ID. Apparently, I've already got an account. I don't know how, but yeah.
Ah. Are you there, Mladen?
Yes. What is happening with Bailey?
So Bailey says, go ahead. You explain it since you have the screen in front of you.
Yeah, it says I already have an account or something. Hang on a minute. I'm just trying to sign in now.
Have you played before?
No. It's doing some.
So this is definitely Bailey's first time. Sounds like somebody's illegally used your email address.
I don't know what's going on.
Mladen is the technical genius. He'll have a look at it. And Rinat, thanks for your patience. Sometimes the new players have a little bit of challenge getting in. So we'll see if we can get that sorted. And then Mladen, Ethel was also having a challenge. She shared the screen. I think it was more an internet issue by the looks of it from her side.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Okay, but you can go on. I'll just have to watch it.
So we'll see if we can get Bailey sorted then to start off with.
I've just reset my password, so hopefully it's coming.
Fingers crossed.
So I can jump in.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sharing my screen again. So Ethel, maybe yours needs to be refreshed one more time. Maybe it'll work if you've refreshed it.
I tried using other browser. It's still the same. It seems like the firewall is, I don't know, connected behind a firewall. Blah, blah, blah.
You must have like a super duper protected computer then.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not also very techy. But anyway, yeah, I'll just try to listen and see how it works.
Okay, and how are you going with yours, Bailey?
I'm just about to sign in now, hopefully.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Nope.
Oh, can you share your screen? I'll stop sharing my screen, and then Mladen might be able to have a look and see what your screen is saying.
So it's just the user ID and password. I tried putting in that info. I'm on my iPad, so I don't know how to share the screen. I'm just trying one more time.
So all the way at the bottom of the Zoom, if you click on more, or at the bottom it should have a green button, which is screen share. And then you should be able to share the screen. So
Hang on a minute. Hopefully it works now.
Fingers are crossed. All fingers are crossed. All four of them.
All right. I'm not having any luck, unfortunately.
Aha. Are you filling in the one on the top or the one on the bottom to register?
I registered, and then I went into, oh, hang on a minute. Wait.
The problem I had last week, I think I was trying to use my email as a user ID, but then I realized there's a different field for user ID.
Oh, right.
So whatever you put as your user ID, use that as the login.
Oh, thank you. Yes, okay.
Well, it says user ID, not email.
Yeah, true.
And in the meantime, welcome, Jerry. So I'm going to log back out so that I can show Jerry the page that we are on. Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to put the website back in the chat. Want to be able to see
Jerry, it's from Meetup, I think.
Aha.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I think you're still on muted, so we're not able to hear you just yet. But I've put the link for the website just there in the chat for you. And then this is the original page. And then from here you can register and you fill in the details and then you can register and then sign in. I'm just going to sign in now so that I'm back inside. Okay, how are you going, Bailey?
I'm in there.
Yay! High five. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you're inside, we have this page, which has a little bit of information. So I'll just quickly show you a little bit of it. I won't show you everything because it's a little bit overwhelming otherwise. So we have your cash flow statement here on the top left. It will show you how much you earn, how much your total income is, your total expenses.
Menno, you're not sharing the screen. You're not sharing the screen.
I have allowed everybody else to share the screen, so I have.
And what about Gary? She's coming in or just watching?
So I am not sure what Jerry is up to. We can't. I can ask her to unmute. Can do that. See if she responds to that. Welcome, Jerry.
Welcome.
Ah, very good, very good.
Thank you for welcoming me in.
You're very welcome.
Hi. Welcome, Jerry. Welcome to Cash.
I don't like numbers. I don't know what I'm doing here.
It's okay.
It's not all numbers, so you'll be fine. We also have a lot of fun with other things other than numbers, so it's all good.
No problem. We'll convert them into banknotes and coins, so you will like it.
I don't like looking at dollars. That's why I'm here.
Aha! That's a good thing. That allows you to be able to learn so that you can get better at it.
It's not in my blood.
Well, we'll do a little bit of injecting into the blood then today.
I need some Chinese blood.
Possibly, yes. So what we'll get you to do, Jerry, is we'll get you to sign in. So the link is in the Zoom chat now, and then you can go to that page, and I think you would see how to register, and then you can sign in. Let us know if you have any challenges. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I'll just explain the game so that you can see how the board works and what a couple of things are so that we can get started, and then we can explain more as we go along. So on the top left, we have the cash flow statement. It will show you how much you earn and how much you spend and how much is left over. So in my case, you can see that my current total income is $19,645. I've still been playing since last time, so don't worry about that number too much. And my expenses are $13,412. So I have a cash flow of $6,232 per month. This middle section here is the place where you can select cards. So if I click select card, and if the middle numbers turn purple, then if I want a small deal that costs less than $5,000, I can click on that one. If I want a bigger deal, I can click on that one. And only once you've been playing for a while would you click on this greater than 100,000 card, because that one is super, super big, and you definitely will not be able to afford that when you start to play. So let's say, for example, that I decide to pick a small deal here. So I click on the $5,000 card. And then you'll see that it will tell me what is happening. So we have a payday, and there's a stock available. Today's price is $40, and the trading range is 5 to 30. So it will give us a little bit of information about that one. Then on the right-hand side, we have a tracker of how much we are using other people's money. And we have some milestones, and we'll explain those throughout the game. Otherwise, it might be a bit much. And then at the bottom, you can see everything that you own and everything that is happening in one glance as well. And then we have a couple more tabs here. But again, we'll go through those as we are playing. because otherwise it will be a little bit much to start off with. And then what I will get everybody to do, because at the moment I am playing by myself, I'll get everybody to go into a room. So if you click on room, I'll set a room up and we'll create, let's have a look, 12, what is it, October? Oh, I thought that it was still September, but it's the 12th of October. So I'll create the room 12th of October. And then instead of creating a room, you can join that room. And then you can come and join me in that room and we can play together. And then I'll explain more things as we go along. But that will get us started on the game. And then you'll start to learn some interesting things. And I was hoping to have my whiteboard ready and set up today. But I guess we'll have that one ready for next week. But we'll still explain things just without the whiteboard. Okay, I can see Renat is already inside. And then Jerry and Bailey and Ethel, if you manage to get in, then we'll get you to join in the room as well. Let me know if there are any challenges.
I came to the cash flow simulator page.
Yes.
And it had like to put all my details in, but I can't see anything for a room.
So are you on the same page that looks similar to this one?
No. I'm thinking I might have to quickly sign out and jump in on my laptop.
Okay, go for it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Press on the playboard because it starts with the profession page.
Yes. And how are you going, Jerry? Jerry might still be a little bit overwhelmed by the numbers, perhaps. We'll see how you go. Get in touch when you are in.
You know what, Menno? I really can't do it tonight. I just realized I had another appointment at the. I have to take a lady to the medical center. I just forgot.
Okay, I understand. But it was good to have you quickly, and hopefully.
But I would like to. I really would like to kind of understand these things. It's an area. It's an area I need to work on.
Maybe we can send you the replay, Jerry.
I would. I would so appreciate.
Yes.
We'll send you the replay, and we also have a video that explains the rules of the game, so we can send that to you as well.
Maybe Jerry, you can just reply on Meetup and send us your email so we can provide you the replay and you can watch it after this session. Okay?
Yes, you can either send that through Meetup or you can also send Ethel a message in the Zoom with your email, and then
oh God, I gotta go.
And then she'll be able to send.
Yeah, I'll do that. Should I send my email now?
Yes.
Yeah, you
send your email, and Ethel will look after that for us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, that's quite all right.
Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody then is in except for Bailey. How are you going at the moment, Bailey? Oh, has Bailey dropped off? I think we've lost Bailey.
Yeah,
I think he's going to rejoin from the computer, from laptop.
Yes. Okay, then, since we already have Mladen, me, and Renat in, we will get started. And then when Bailey joins, we will let her join after that. So, is everybody starting from scratch again, or is anybody still playing from last time?
I want to continue the last week's one.
You'll continue from last week? Okay, then MYT for you is available for $40 if you want to sell, since that is quite a nice number. So I'm going to sell some of my, actually, I'm going to see how long I've held on to them. So I haven't had any for 12 months yet, so I might have a look at selling one of the smaller ones. Actually, first I'm going to check how much cash I have. That is an even smarter way of doing it. Check how much cash I have. Okay, and Jerry sent her email address, and I think you may have seen that, Ethel.
Nope. I can't see it. I think it's just you.
No, I think she sent it through to everybody. Oh, no, she sent it only to me. Okay, I will.
Kindly copy that and then Viber. Yeah, please. Thank you, Menno.
That's okay. Okay. Then I am going to check how much cash I have, and then I am going to send that quickly to Ethel. And then I'm sure everybody will have decided what they are going to be doing with their shares. And then I will pass the game on to the next player. My apologies for that. That was a lot that I needed to do quickly. Okay, so I'll sell one of the smallest ones that I have. And keep the rest so that we can sell those with less capital gains tax. Okay, that makes the bank account a little bit nicer. Okay, we are up and running. So, Renat, over to you when my computer decides that it's going to accept me hitting the done button. And it is nice to see that Renat is eating, and we are continuing the tradition of eating while we are playing so that we can have a bit of a...
I think it will be useful to have the cash, how much cash I have visible on the screen, but...
if you go to the bottom of the screen,
yeah,
assets, liabilities, income, and expenses, in personal, you can see your checking, savings, investing, and charity account and how much cash you have.
Okay, nice.
So it's quite easily visible.
What is that?
Oh, so you have gone for a very, 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 very big deal. And
yeah.
In the board game version, this would be what you would call a dream. And this is what you would buy when you are super successful, super wealthy, and you just want to start enjoying your life because you've already achieved financial freedom. And then you can do things like heli-ski the Swiss Alps for $150,000. So it will give you no income. This is just enjoy your life, spend the money, because you don't need to worry about money anymore. And yes.
So is this like one of the criteria for the winning the game?
So this is for the original version. So for the board game version, this is one of the criteria for winning the game. If this was your dream and you were to buy it, then you would win the game, yes.
How do I know what my dream is?
So since, I'm not sure, is your passive income already higher than your expenses?
No.
So then you wouldn't be in that section of the game anyhow yet. So you're just punching a little bit above your weight and playing a little bit bigger than you might be able to right now.
But I mean, I had more than 100K on my account, so I thought, let's see what deals there are available.
So there are also a couple of business deals, but this is one of the dream deals that are also in the 100K and greater deals. But in this case, we don't have a board, so it's going to be challenging to actually decide what dream you're going to pick.
So I just press done and forget about it.
So you can press done and forget about it for now. We're looking at what we're going to do with that section because most people just enjoy playing the normal version. Once you go to the outside, it's a little bit slower. You're just buying stuff. It's
life is boring. So then you need
a very different lifestyle. Yes.
Okay.
For this version, it doesn't really matter is a dream or not. It's available to you. If you have money, buy it.
Yes.
And no one forced you to pick a deal which is more than $100,000. It was your choice, right?
I mean, I was hoping for something that's going to give me even more passive income.
There are also
there are opportunities there, but you got this on this occasion.
But this time around, you only got a dream. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm done then.
Menno, can you please paste the website address and the other link in the chat again, please?
Yes.
Thanks.
Let me send that through for you. Okay. I was looking forward to hearing from you. Here we go. There we go. You're welcome. Knock yourself out. Okay, over to Mladen. And then Bailey, keep us updated on how you're going, and then we'll see what we can do to help you out. Hopefully we can get you in this time. Oh, that is a nice business. Automated business for sale.
How come I don't see the buy option?
Ah, that's because it's Mladen's card. So unless he sells it to you, you wouldn't be able to buy it.
Okay.
So only with the stocks can everybody buy at the same time. I would love to sell you this one, but unfortunately I can't.
So now, should I select the 100? Okay. I don't get to select anything, but
You don't get to select anything when you go out for lunch with friends.
no worries. Enjoy your lunch, guys.
We've just decided to enjoy life in a different way, but a little bit cheaper this time. Okay, how are you going, Bailey?
Just about in.
Yay! We'll get you in eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Mladen. With business like people, you should get to know them before you judge them. Warren Buffett. It's a little bit like the cover of a book as well. You should read it before you decide whether it's a good book or not.
All right, I'm in.
Yay! Okay, did you follow the instructions about how the game works when I went through that part?
I've got the cash flow simulator page up again.
Okay, perfect. Then on the top left, you should have room. You click on the purple room button.
I have randoms. Select a random profession. The purple bar button.
Yes, so it will take you to. So I never go to the profession to start off with. So if you hit random for profession, yes, then you will.
Right. Oh no, not in room. And what's the room called?
And the room is called 12 October.
All right, I'm in.
Go. You are in. Fails 23. There you are. Welcome. Good things are sometimes worth waiting for.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All right. So what do I do now?
So
Like the card?
you can wait for your turn, and then I'll show you what you need to do if you're unsure. But at the moment, cool. I have a card which is called Stock Onto You. The price is $10, and it trades from 10 to 30, so it's nice and low at the moment. It's a theme park place, and they haven't been doing so well, so $10. So anybody can buy them. So depending on how much money you have, which you can see here a little bit further down, you have your bank account details. Just here, I'm circling it on my screen here. So based on that, you can buy some if you want to. If you had some, you could sell them. I might buy a few actually. So I'm going to hit buy, and then you can follow me and see what I'm doing. So let me see. What's the latest price? $10. So I buy 100 of those. So I will buy. So you can borrow if you need to. And then if everybody has done their thing with that stock, then I'm going to hit done. And then it's Renat's turn. And then Bailey, you are after that.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to check if I have 20 acres because I remember buying some land last time. Oh, no. I have nothing. And then as soon as Renat hits done, if he doesn't own any land himself and he's not in the process of selling some, then Bailey, over to you. So if you click select card, and I'm hovering over it if you're watching my screen as well. Oh, so you have the chance to sponsor a child if you like. It costs $40 per month. And then if you click that you agree to that, then you will be sponsoring a child. And if you say done, then you skip that. And it's not compulsory. So it's up to you whether you'd like to sponsor a child or not. And you can see how...
Yeah, I might skip it for the moment.
But that's okay. It's your first game, so it's sometimes good to just take a little bit of time to have a look at how everything works. You can watch us and what we're doing, and then eventually you'll get to the point where you get the courage and go, I'm going to do something.
Awesome, yeah.
Money you have and what's going on, and you'll accumulate money over time anyway, because you'll automatically pass paychecks.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so for example, Renat's just picked up a card, house for sale, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's a good investment potential in this 3-2 house if you can be patient, positive cash flow, even though rents are weak. So the down payment is $8,000, so it's a larger than $6,000 deal. The loan is at 3% for 25 years, and it has a cash flow of $299 per month, and it has a return on investment of 44.96%. So within 1 year, Renat can get almost 50% of his money back, is what the card is saying. But only Renat has access to that card because it's his card. He has the option on that one. And then we'll find out whether he's bought it or not. And it looks like he is because it's taking a bit of time.
It's not me, it's Mladen.
Oh, it's Mladen. Oh, there we go. Okay, my turn to select the card. Okay, payday and car wash buyer. Does anybody have a car wash?
No.
I didn't think you would, since you've just started. Don't think I have either, actually. Oh. Okay, that is very interesting. I am clicking done. I'm clicking sell. And my computer's a little slow to react today. Okay, now we're up to Renat.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, Bailey, back to you.
All right, cool. Buy into a company because you want to own it, not because you want the stock to go up or down.
Sorry?
It says buy into a company because you want to own it, not because you want the stock to go up and down.
Oh, where does it say that? Because I can only see that you got a payday.
Oh,
Those are just the quote.
It is a quote, okay.
Yes,
So
just underneath is the card. But the quotes are still good.
All right, so do I just click done?
So for this one, you can just click done. So you just received your pay. So that means you don't have to select the card. Nothing else is happening. You just get your money and you have to wait for the next turn for something exciting to happen again. Even though getting paid.
Right, cool.
And then now I know that it's actually Mladen's turn. And limited partnership sold. So that will happen automatically. So anybody that had a limited partnership, the computer will automatically sell your limited partnership for whatever you are owed on that one. In this case, twice as much. And then it's back to me. Charity, I'm going to say yes. 10% of total income. Pay. I'm going to hit done. Check how much cash I still have left. Not bad. And then next week, I'm looking forward to having my whiteboard set up so that if we have any questions, I can write on the board and explain. Because I used to be a business teacher at a college, so I love writing on the whiteboard and explaining things.
So this one doesn't affect me, but probably if anyone has any business.
So again, this one would do it automatically. So small business interest will automatically add 150% to your business that you started. Okay, Bailey, hopefully you can get a deal this time.
Hopefully.
You've had, oh, congratulations.
Oh, God, really?
Yes. You've had your first baby. You can only have 3 of them, though.
Right.
This is the first one. And they will cost you some money. So if you scroll down a little, no, it's actually on the other page now. If you go to the next tab over where it says statements, you can follow on my screen.
Yep.
You'll see that you have children expense in the expenses section a little bit further down. I also have one baby. My baby cost me $70, and you can see the little head. And every baby will give you a little head. And yes, I have only one, but sometimes you have 3 little heads down there. And then you can go back to Playboard to the normal screen.
You should be on the Playboard as well. Scroll down.
No, I think it used to be on the Playboard.
You have children expenses item.
Yes.
On the personal section.
I just like seeing the little heads for some reason. It makes it feel like it really is a baby.
Yes, on statement it is, but not on this one.
Yes.
But it's still included. You have child expenses.
Yes. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I really have a baby on the expenses section. But when I go to the statements, I really feel like I have a baby because I can see its little head. Okay, Mladen gets a payday as well. Hey, come on. Good deal. Good deal. I'm going to buy something nice. Oh, very good. Okay, so here I have to choose whether I want a deal that's less than $5,000 or one that's greater than $6,000. Or I can go completely nuts and go for greater than $100,000. But I'm going to stick with this one. House for sale, 3.2, down payment, $8,000. Also 44.96% return on investment, $300 monthly cash flow. I will say, let's do it. Buy. Buy, buy, buy. Okay, are you following so far, Bailey? Any questions?
No, no questions yet. It's good though.
Okay, very good. We'll start explaining more as you start doing things. Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. A second.
You're not the only one, Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you.
Buy new clothes.
So
I don't feel I need new clothes.
Don't feel you need new clothes. So in the official game, if you get these are called doodad cards. If you get a doodad card, you have to pay for it. But in this case, it is optional. So if you feel that it's something that you would do, then I would advise you to buy it. If it's something that you don't think you would do or would be doing right now, then you can hit done and skip it and not pay the 250. So it's up to you. The only person you can cheat is yourself if you don't do something that you usually would do. So we have the honor system where we'll let you choose what to do, and we'll let you choose right now.
All right. I'm just going to say done because I'm learning about minimalism at the moment. So, yeah.
I'm a big fan too. So,
yeah.
I'm a minimalist, and then I buy a whiteboard, but it has a purpose. It has a purpose.
Is it called Willie the Whiteboard? Like, what's the name?
Like Mickey.
I had to ask.
I don't know. I might have to call it something else. I'll come up with a name.
Yeah.
Time, and I almost didn't realize it was my turn because I was focused on Willie the Whiteboard. Okay, here we go. Greater than 6,000. Ooh. I might need to transfer some cash. Okay, we're going to be transferring. So, Bailey, you might like to follow along. So, I have money in different accounts. I think yours is still all in the same account at the moment, but I have a savings account, investing account, charity account, and a checking account. I'm going to have to combine my money. So, I'm going to go to bank and hit transfer. And then I have the from account. So, it's similar to internet banking. I'm going to transfer 12,000 from my savings account to my checking account. So I type in the amount, 12,000, and transfer. And I'm going to do that one more time.
Is there actually any benefit of doing that, like keeping it on separate accounts?
Yes. So, for example, I do this in real life. So I have a jar system. And I send money to a long-term savings account. I send money to a financial freedom account. I send money to a play account, an education account, and a charity account. And the interesting thing, I already said the play account. So what I do is I have a long-term savings account, and I use that for things that I want to save for. So it might be a trip I want to make, or it might be a bike that I want to buy, or something else that I want to do in the longer term. Then I have a financial freedom account, and I use that for investing. So it's Robert Kiyosaki principle of pay yourself first. So as soon as money comes in, it automatically takes a certain percentage, and they go into the different accounts. So the financial freedom account I use for investing purposes. So it will go onto the stock market, or it will go towards a property deposit, or it will go towards art or cryptocurrency or whatever it is that I'm investing in at that point in time, or anything that I've got my eye on. Usually what I'll be doing is I'll be doing analysis. And then depending on what is looking good at that point in time, I'll have a look at how much is on that account. And then I'll decide whether I'm going to transfer that or whether I need to keep saving for something else. The third account is the education account. So if I want to do a course, or if I want to learn something in order to be able to also make more money, then I use that account for those kinds of things. So that way I have money set aside for education. The fourth one is a play account. And this one is an interesting psychological strategy. It's an account that I use to feel wealthy. So I will use the money in that account to do things that I otherwise wouldn't do. So I might go and do something that would take me to the next level. So for example, the next play account that I'm going to be using is going to be for a flight, what's it called? A water plane flight. So there's a water plane down at, what's it called? Rose Bay. And that is something that I would like to do. It's something that I haven't done before. I feel that it would make me feel more wealthy. And so you're only allowed to save up in that account for 3 weeks. Once 3 weeks is over, you have to find something that will make you feel wealthy that you can use that money for. And then you spend that money, and that feeling helps you to take you to the next level. And then the fifth account is the charity account. That's also 10%. So that every week, usually, I will think of which charity I want to donate that to, and I will then donate that money to a certain charity, or I will give it to somebody, or I will find something that I feel is worthwhile. The rest of the money obviously goes to my normal account, and that is for everyday expenses and anything else that I want to save for separately. But every cent that comes into my account, a certain percentage will automatically go to each of those accounts. And it's amazing how quickly it accumulates. All of a sudden, you haven't been paying attention to it for a while, and you go, oh, wow. Because what my bank does is it comes in automatically, and they automatically take a certain percentage out. So every time money hits the account, it doesn't matter where it comes from, it doesn't matter how big it is, it will just take that percentage, send it across to the separate accounts. You don't even realize. Sometimes I haven't checked it for a month when I should be spending my play money, but sometimes I'm just doing things, working on the business. And then I look and I'm like, oh, better spend the play account because it just accumulates. And it's a really, really good way to learn to live with a little bit less on your trading account, on your normal transaction account on a day-to-day basis. So it also worked from that point of view, because usually what happens is we spend everything that comes in. In this case, what happens is you're learning to live off less, and you don't generally miss what's being put aside because your brain says, okay, I need to figure out a way to survive off whatever is there. So what our brains do is we say, okay, we have this checking account. There is X amount on there, and that's what I can spend. If there's less there, then the brain says, well, that's what's on the checking account, so that's what I can spend. And you still find a way to be able to get everything done. And also, it's psychologically proven that if you do this, and if you take some of the money and put it into other accounts, then the brain says, hey, I'm not comfortable surviving off 50% of what I was earning. I need to increase the income somehow. So it works on multiple levels to be able to help you increase your wealth. There we go. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, I'm just going to quickly plug in my computer because it's telling me that it is going to drop me off if I don't plug it in. There we go. Then I'm going to transfer my last money. And I'm glad that we were able to go through that for you, so that that's on the recording. And so that I was able to explain that for you. Hopefully that was helpful. So now I should be able to buy it. So that should have, yes, sufficient money on there to make that purchase. And I'm going to say done. Okay. Over to you, Bailey. I hope that was also interesting for you, that little explanation on the separate accounts and why separate accounts are good.
Yeah, so just to confirm, the play account is something you will want to do but haven't experienced yet. Is that correct?
Yes, but it also needs to have, to a certain degree, it needs to make you feel more wealthy. So it needs to be something that you don't usually splurge on, that you feel is a little bit excessive for you. So let's say, for example, that you get a massage at home. And then task is date night. Oh, wow. I didn't know that was still in there. My phone's just telling me all sorts of messages. So, for example, if you get a massage at home, or if you do something and you, let's say that you're at the level where you say, I don't have the money to go for a massage, so I get a massage at home. I get my partner to massage me. I get this or that. Then you say, okay, I'm going to actually spend some money on that. So if you drink your coffee at home, then you say, okay, I'm going to go to a Starbucks and I'm going to spend a little bit more, or I'm going to splurge on something a little bit more expensive than usual. So let's say you go to Starbucks and you just get the standard coffee. Then you might get a more fancy coffee. And so what you're doing is you're training yourself to be able to experience something at a slightly higher level. And that will then allow your brain to think differently and think that you deserve something different. And it will allow you to feel that you're worth more than you currently are. So it's a way of tricking your brain.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yes. So you can do, for example, a massage if you don't usually do that. If you never go to the nail salon to do your nails, or never get a manicure or a pedicure, then you do those kinds of things. Or you can buy a more expensive version of the coffee, or you can go to a fancier restaurant. There's all these different things you can do. Or depending on when you get a little bit higher up, then you can go for plane flights, helicopter flights. And the idea is to just progress so that you go from more fancy restaurant to something else, to eventually buying a private jet, for example. That's further down the line.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the next 2 paychecks will not include salary. You will receive passive income and have to pay all your expenses.
Yes, so for the next 2 paychecks, you will not receive your salaried income. If you have passive income, which I don't think you do right now, you would still be getting that, but you still have to pay your expenses because obviously downsized is the American version of lose your job, get sacked, all of those kinds of things. So the game is simulating that, and that means that you're still going to be paying your expenses because obviously you still have to eat, you still have to pay your rent, you still have to do all of those different things. But obviously you're going to be looking for work, and in 2 weeks' time, 2 paychecks' time, you'll start working again, and your income will come back, but just not for the moment. So it's going to simulate, losing the job for a while.
Yep. So I'm already minus $1,427.
Oh, so you'll need to come back then. So hopefully you'll turn that around a little bit later. You'll have to maybe accumulate some more paychecks once you get your job back. We'll see how you go.
Yeah.
Keep us updated.
I will.
But don't worry, this is just a simulation, so it's not real money.
Yeah.
Hey, and then Rinat has price of gold soars. Does anybody own any gold? I know that Mladen's usually a bit of a gold hoarder. So I don't know if Mladen is selling any gold. Otherwise,
I don't have anything, so I press done.
So you can press done. Mladen would have already hit sell if he saw that gold was available to be sold. He's quite quick on that one, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Oh, nice fourplex. Okay, and over to me. Let's check the cash situation. Still some money in the investing account. Let's see, go for one of these. Payday and mutual fund, grow for us. Do I have any of these? Oh, I do. And I've had them for 12 months. Yes. Okay, that's a sell. There we go. Now we've got some cash for a bigger deal again. Very nice. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That was a nice return. Okay, did you follow that, Bailey?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yes, when it's my turn, you can follow everything that I do. So everybody knows how much money I have. Everybody can exploit me when it comes to negotiations because everybody can just see exactly how much money I have. They can say, oh, you can afford more than that. Let me charge you a bit more. Keeps it exciting for me. Okay, Bailey, back up.
Yeah, it says waiting for me to select a card. I've already selected the card, so it's light purple.
Are the 5,000, 6,000, and the 100,000 deals purple as well?
Yes.
Oh, you got your first deal. Okay, so you don't have that much money. So I would recommend currently starting with a less than $5,000 deal. So if you click on that one.
Or she can also get a good deal and sell it to us.
Yes, but let's get Bailey seeing if she can pick one for herself first, and then later on we can see if we can convince her to get a bigger one. Okay, certificate of deposit. So do you want to read this one out to us?
Yeah, a leading bank offers this special certificate of deposit to its customers, guaranteed interest and redeemable after any holding period. Everyone must buy or sell as many as they wish at every time, and then money percentages and all that. Okay,
so for every $5,000, you get one certificate of deposit. In Australia, we call that a term deposit. In America, they call them certificates of deposit for some reason. The yield is 4.8%, so that means that every month it will give you $20. If you want to buy 2, you need to pay $10,000. If you want to buy 3, you pay $15,000. And obviously, if you buy 3, it will give you $60 per month. So it is up to everybody if they want to get one. So everybody may buy these or how many they want to get. And that is a potentiality. So everybody can choose to hit buy right now if they want to. And when you have decided that you think everybody's had enough time to hit buy, you can hit done daily, unless you want to buy one. But I think you're still negative cash, right?
Yeah, I'm still negative, so I can't buy.
So you might need to wait till you find work again, and then accumulate a bit of cash until you've got a bit of cash again, and then you can start buying things.
All right, cool. So I'm going to press done now.
Okay, perfect. So don't worry about that. In real life, these things happen as well. And so this game will teach you and show you what you can do. It simulates real life, just like you were flying a simulator, a plane simulator. And you can practice and test different things and buy things and see whether it works without losing any money in real life. So it's really cool.
Cool.
And tomorrow morning, you'll have to tell everybody in the vibe that you came to cash flow.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, you got another dream, Renat?
Yeah, I don't know, I keep pressing this button hoping for a good deal.
Dreamer, nothing but a dreamer. Okay. Car wash buyer. We already had that one. I don't think anybody's bought a car wash since then. So anybody that already had that opportunity before would have sold by this stage, I reckon. So Bailey, back over to you. Hopefully you've already passed 2 paychecks so that you can start getting money again. If you have a look at your cash flow statement on the top left, does your earned income have a number in there again, or is it still on 0?
So cash flow is $1,281 and total expenses is $1,818. So
and total income?
Total income is $3,100.
Oh, okay. So you're back in the game.
All right, cool.
You might still be negative cash flow, negative cash. But if you select a couple of cards, eventually you should make up for that and you will have a cash again. Oh, so I'm going to quickly hit buy because this is a very good price. So it's trading from $5 to $30. This MYT for you. Today's price is $1.
All right, I'm buying.
Oh, I thought you would be. How much cash do you have, though?
Oh, I said buy one.
Hopefully you have some cash. If you're negative, you can borrow some money because this will appreciate. There is capital gains, though, in the game. So if you sell it before you've held it for 12 months, it will charge you more tax. If you hold it for more than 12 months, it will charge you less tax. But for you, even if you borrow, I think this would be a relatively good deal because the appreciation from $1 even to $5 is quite a lot. But the appreciation from $1 to $30, if you can sell it later on, will give you quite a good return. So you might.
So how much should I How many should I buy? Because this is all new to me.
How much cash do you have right now? So you'll see that a little further down in this section here, the assets, liabilities, income, and expenses. You should have your bank account here. I think you only have one still.
I've just got the cash flow simulator at the moment.
If you scroll down a little bit, you should be able to come to this.
I can't scroll down.
Aha. If you then hit, let's have a look. If you hit your statements, which is the next tab over.
I think when you click on buy, it says the available cash. It shows on top next to the buy button.
You can also do it that way. There are lots of different ways of doing everything in this game. So if you hit buy, Bailey.
All right.
I'll hit buy as well. So then at the top, it should say how much available cash you have.
Under cash. Why? Oh, there. Okay.
Yes, all the way at the top.
I've got $1,688.
Okay, that's good. So you've got some cash. So how much would you feel comfortable in real life if you had 1,000, whatever you just said? If you had that much, how much would you feel comfortable putting into shares?
Well, I would say probably 500 to 1,000.
Okay, then I would say pick a number between 500 and 1,000 and go for it.
What are your monthly expenses?
I will have to go back and say that.
So yes, you'll find that on the playboard. So you'll find that in the cash flow statement total expenses section.
Yeah. All right. Total expenses is $2,128. And total income is 3,100.
So I think you've got a cash flow of about 1,000 there.
What is how much expenses?
Sorry?
How much are your expenses?
Expenses 2,128.
So what happens if you buy any of stock and you get downsized? How are you going to repay your expenses?
Well, I've still got about $971 to play with. So I think it's probably safe to go 500. Yeah.
But that is answer your question. How much you willing to afford? How much you're comfortable? That is your answer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why my question was, how much do you feel comfortable with if it was real life?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good. Welcome to the game. Congratulations on your first purchase.
It never went. Oh,
it should have gone through if you bought them, and then you will see in your statements. It will have at the bottom. You can see on my screen if you're following my screen as well. I've got a couple of stocks, a few, and it will have.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cool, thanks.
Awesome. Okay, and in the meantime, it is my turn, and actually notice, which is good. But if I don't react, feel free to, if anybody has gold, I think there's an even better price for gold, and I get my payday. So hit sell if you have gold, or forever hold your peace, and I'm going to hit done in the meantime. Okay, Renat. Are you going for another greater than 100K deal and seeing if you actually find a deal this time? No, not this time. You've gotten a bit 100K plus cautious. Hey, fourplex.
Let's see.
So in the meantime, Bailey, while Renat is having a look at that, if you go to your settings and hit preferences,
yep,
you'll see that you can tick on include tithe in monthly expenses. So that means that charity automatically receives 10% of your money. So you donate to charity automatically. But there's also the charity button, so you can also do that manually. And you can also pay yourself first and do the same thing that I do also in real life and pay yourself to a savings account or your investing account and a charity account. And you can decide what percentage you want to pay. You can make any changes to any of those here, and then hit save if you want to make any changes.
Right, yeah.
Throw that in there and let you know. And Rinat is showing off the baby that he got earlier in the game.
I pressed done, but I don't know.
Sometimes it's a little bit, slow, and you need to press it twice. Wow, Rinat, you really did have one in real life as well.
Very
I think I got the maximum number. It's 3 now.
Because I just had one in the game, but I have nothing that I can show. Okay, and then Bailey, we're back to you.
Yeah.
It's okay. I usually don't know when it's my turn. It's a good thing to remind me. If I'm silent and it's my turn, just shout out, let me know.
I don't know what to do here.
Are the 5,000, 6,000, and 100,000 purple?
Select the card. I was looking at somebody else's.
Ah, you might be looking at mine.
Oh.
That happens a lot.
So it says receive salary and other income and pay expenses. So I'm just going to say done.
Okay. I don't see a card coming up for you though, but it must have worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Mladen's turn now.
Yes. Usually it shows up on my screen. It didn't show up on my screen.
Yeah.
I think one of Mladen's favorite cards has popped up. Okay. Ooh, how much cash do I have? Okay, we're going for a medium size. Tenant refuses to pay after losing job. When you get them evicted, you discover significant damage to the property. Insurance covers most damage and costs, but you're still out of pocket $1,000. Okay, I'll pay my $1,000. There we go. So yes, not all opportunity cards are great opportunities. Sometimes you have tenants that don't pay.
Yeah.
It happens. Ooh, demand for bed and breakfast. 250,000. I don't think I have one. No, that's sad. Okay. Okay, back to you, Bailey.
Yeah, I'm trying to press it. I don't know what's going on.
Sometimes I have to press twice. I don't know. It doesn't take it the first time.
Okay, third time lucky, hopefully. I'll try again.
I've had a couple of times where I've had to click a couple of times. But I also had that with Zoom today. I hit my account, my account, my account, my account, so that I can get to the section. So now you should have the $5,000, $6,000, or $100,000 cards, and you can select that one. So depending on how
I'm trying. I'm trying to click on the light purple or the 5. Oh, maybe buy first.
So,
no, it's kind of frozen.
Kind of frozen. If you hit the on the top right, just under the sign out button, there's a button refresh. You hit refresh, that might fix that up.
All right.
Don't worry, I feel a little bit intimidated with Mladen and Renat both being IT specialists and me being relatively not IT. So don't worry about a thing.
Yeah.
I think you've dropped out of the game. We might need you to see if you can read.
Oh, I had to sign out and sign in again.
No, refresh would have been good, but you can also sign out and sign back in. That's also good.
Yeah.
So then, Mladen, you can have your turn, and then Bailey can sign back in, and then it should work again for the next turn. The game will actually save your position, so you should be able to still sign in on the same numbers, so you're still in the same position. Okay, see what I come up with.
Was that an example of a good more than 100K deal from Mladen?
So that was actually a 6,000 and greater deal. It wasn't actually greater than 100,000 deal. That actually fits within the greater than 6,000 deal. So that one actually fits on the normal part of the board rather than the outside of the board. That is the only one super crazy deal that's in there. Okay, I have that much cash. I'm going to go for one of these. Fingers crossed. How are you going, Bailey, getting back in? Shopping.
Yeah, I'm back in there.
Okay, awesome. 19% ROI. Would anybody like to buy this off me? Any takers? I shouldn't have mentioned the ROI. My bad. Okay, fine. Done. Okay, over to you, Renat. And then we'll see you when you pop back up, Bailey. Let me know if there's any issues or challenges that you have. I suppose we'll see you in just a bit.
All right, I'm back in there now.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
I can already see you.
Yeah.
I can already see you. Okay. Renat is probably buying. Look how easy he makes it look. He's got a baby on his lap and he's buying a property.
The baby is destroying my desktop.
Okay, Bailey, fingers crossed this time you can pick a card. Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to check to see if I have any of these. So I'm going to hit sell quickly. So the price is $30. The trading range is 5 to 40. So it's a bit closer to the top of the range. Oh, I've had it for 11 months. Oh, probably worth waiting another month at least to be able to sell that one so that we can avoid the capital gains tax. Okay, I'm going to say done.
What I should do?
So
is $971 at the moment.
Okay, so in the stock market, if the price was a little bit higher, would you buy or would you hold and not do anything?
I've had no experience in this.
Okay, so the trading range is from 5 to 40. So if you buy it at 30, it can go up a little bit, but it's probably better to buy it a little bit lower.
Okay. So I might just go down then.
So you can probably just say done to that one. See, yeah. I bought some before at a much lower price. So I was checking
to
sell them.
What nationality are you, Menno?
What nationality am I? I'm Dutch.
Oh, cool. I really like your accent.
Really? I think
it's different. I love different nationalities.
Aha. No, I don't sound Dutch. I traveled too much when I was around 14, 15 years old. That's when you get the accent you keep for life. And I was all over the place. So I got an accent that was all over the place. And it's my turn. I'm not paying attention. I don't know what my accent is nowadays, but apparently I had an Australian accent when I was in primary school. I only had this house for 3 months. Well, then thank you, but no thank you. Never mind, we'll sell it later. We'll collect some more rent on it then. Oh, I like this quote. Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Wise words from Warren Buffett. I'm curious to see if Renat goes for the greater than 100,000. No. He's a little bit more cautious on those now. You've probably been spending money on deals, so you don't have greater than 100,000 anymore.
I do.
You do? Oh.
I don't know what to do with all that money. I need more deals.
Actually, Bailey, you might also like to see, so just for the fun of it, on those little tabs, you've seen the statements, and I think you've had a look at the cash ledger. On the very right, you also have performance and scoreboard. So if you go into performance, it will actually give you some statistics. It's a little bit more advanced. I'm going to make videos. I still haven't had a chance. That's why I bought the whiteboard. So I can actually explain what they are and how they work. So keep an eye out for that. And if you go to scoreboard, you can actually see. So me, Renat, I don't know if Mladen restarted the game, but we've already been playing for a while. So ignore our scores. But you can see how long you'd be able to survive. This number on the right that I'm circling on my screen, it tells you how long you'd be able to survive if you lose your job. In your case, for 1 month and 24 days. Renat would be able to survive for 27 months, and I'd be able to survive infinity amount, so infinitely, because my passive income, so the money that I earn without working, is higher than my expenses at the moment. So I could lose my job and just continue surviving and surviving and surviving. I'd be fine. And that score will tell you how long you can survive without working. And the little thing with the colored red, orange, and green, that will tell you how much you're using other people's money to fund your financial freedom. So that is how we score the game a little bit. And so, just for fun, you can have a look at that every once in a while and work to see if you can beat us. But don't compare yourselves to us too much because we've already been playing for a while. Maybe you can compare yourself a little to Mladen. I think he started again from 0 today. I'm not sure. We'd have to ask him. Okay, and in the meantime, it's your turn, Bailey. And I think you can choose the purple ones again. And then I'll explain a little bit more next time when we are in between people's goals.
I'm expecting the pay.
Oh, you did get your pay, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And not much else to do.
No, yeah.
See what Mladen comes up with. Oh, that's a nice one. Hopefully Mladen has the cash, but I think I don't know. If he restarted, not sure if he has the cash. See, I'm already speculating on how much money everybody has.
And the cash.
Sorry?
Looks like Mladen bought the deal.
Yes. And I pissed off my boss. But I'm financially free, so it doesn't really bother me. So I still have a passive income of almost 21,000. My expenses are 14,000. So I still have a cash flow of 6,245 per month. So I do not care about being downsized.
Anyone wants to sell any property?
I don't think I have any flex.
I've got no.
Oh, I do have flex, but I don't have any for more than 12 months. So thank you, but no thank you.
I'm done.
But no thank you. $20 onto you. So this one is a little bit lower. So this one is right in between the trading range. So $10 is the cheapest price you can get it for, and $30 is probably the highest. So it can go higher, it can go lower, obviously. This is just the trading range means where it's been in the last 52 weeks. That's what it's called in real life. It's called the 52-week trading range. And it will tell you where it's been in the last year. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen next year, but it gives you a bit of a guide of where it tends to hang out. It could go lower, it could go higher. If the management has no idea what they're doing, they could drive it all the way down. If management is better than they were last year, or if they hire a brilliant new manager who knows what he's doing. But if you listen to my readings in the morning, you'll know that I don't always agree with that necessarily either. There are all sorts of outside factors too. So I do a book reading at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is a lot of fun. We talk about things like this. So it could go lower, it could go higher, but generally speaking, this share should be between $10 to $30 on average, generally speaking, if things stay, all things being equal. So today's price is $20. So it's up to everybody whether you'd like to buy some at that price or whether you are going to say, no, thank you, I'm good. And it depends on how much money.
I might just leave it for now.
Yeah, all good. So the idea of this game is to start to figure out what you feel comfortable with, to first of all do what you do in real life, then start seeing if you can experiment with things that you wouldn't necessarily do, and then you can see whether you do things that are good or whether you absolutely crash your life. And because it's a game, you can crash your life and you can make mistakes and you can see what doesn't work, and it doesn't matter because it's just play money, so it doesn't matter what happens. And it's much better to do it here than to go out into real life and say, okay, let's go and experiment. And then you could end up with massive debt or lots of other different challenges in life. So that's why we created the cash flow simulator. So you can just simulate life and play around with it and see what happens. And you can do crazy things and learn that that's not very good. You can test different strategies and see what works and what doesn't work. It is really good that way.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so speaking of, I'm going to buy a property. There we go, property bought. Very nice. Getting a nice little portfolio now. Oh, another thing very quickly. I'll show you on my screen. I think you said that you can't see the bottom of your first screen. But if you have a look at mine, so this is the top of my page, and you can see Renat's picture card. But if I scroll down, you can see all the assets that I have. So I have real estate assets and I have stock assets. And here on the very far right, I can see how long I've held them. So this 3-2 house at the top, I've had it for 5 months. The next one down, I've had it for 0 months, so I just bought it. The next one, 9 months, 4 months, 10 months, etc., etc. Now, anything that I've had for more than 12 months, I pay less tax on. Everything that I've had for less than 12 months, I pay more tax on because the government wants to encourage me to hold on to property for longer. So if I hold it for more than 12 months, they'll give me a tax incentive. If I hold it for less than 12 months, they'll say, wish you didn't do that. You can, but we'll take some more tax. Thank you very much.
Anyone wants to buy this off me?
Oh, let's have a look. What is it? 40,000 down payment. How much cash do I have? Let me see. Thank you, but no thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Boring, but okay.
Sorry?
Receive salary and other income and pay expenses.
Yes. Every once in a while, the computer will give you some money, just like in real life. You'll get your salary.
Yeah.
And while Mladen's having his turn, since it will take a while now for you to get your turn next, if you go, Bailey, to reports, and then it's been split up now. So you can see some bookkeeping reports. You can see financial statements. So you've got your income statement, balance sheet from the point of view of the bank, because they own the property, and you own more of it as you pay it off. So you can see that as well. Cash flow statement. So you can play around with some of these. You can see the purchases that you've made. So you can see the investment assets that you've bought. You can see the doodads that you've purchased. You can see what you've sold throughout the game. We have some statistics, so you can see your assets and your cash flow, and you can see your tax statement as well. So you can see different things if you want to. So for example, if we go to General Journal, and you have a look at my General Journal, the game actually tracks every time you get your paycheck, it will actually put a new date. And so time, and you can see what you've done over time. So you can see, for example, let's have a look. I started in 2021, and I am currently in 22, 23. I'm in 2023, so I've been playing the game for 3 years. So you can simulate time and say, I wonder what I can achieve if I use this strategy in 3, 4, 5 years' time. So you can play 5 years worth of game with a simulation, and then you can see whether that strategy is better, for example, than another strategy. So you can play another strategy and do that for 5 years in the game, and then see which one comes out better. You can do all these different interesting things to test those out. So when you have a chance, when it's a bit quiet, feel free to go through some of those reports, have a look at them, see if you understand them. You can ask me some questions around them, and you can just play around with that while it's not your turn. But keep an eye on what everybody else is doing, though, because you might miss some good deals otherwise. So, like I almost missed noticing that it's my turn. And I love this quote. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule 2, never forget rule number 1. Oh, and I got myself another one, but I still have nothing to show for it in real life. But
should I go for the 100K? Wow.
Oh,
nice. Finally.
Still got a big one, though.
Nice.
I think you buying this yourself, or would you like to joint venture, or would you like to sell to me?
I'm good. I'm all good. Finally, I have somewhere to park my money.
Sometimes the negotiations don't work. It's like selling ice to an Eskimo.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, another certificate of deposit. This one's a bit cheaper. And so this one has a 6% yield. Costs less, but it'll give you more interest. So I think the other one was the other one $10 a month? This one's $20 a month.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So, well, what does the trading range? Because that's the most it's been.
Okay, so this is something that you're lending to the bank. So this is you lending money to the bank. So this isn't going to change price. So you pay $4,000 for it. When you want your money back, you'll still only get the $4,000. But in the meantime, you've been paid the interest. But the value of it doesn't go up. So when you ask for your money back at the end, you still get your $4,000, but you've been accumulating the interest, and that's where your profit is throughout the entire time. But that's why the trading range in this case doesn't change. So it's not like a stock where it has value. and it can go up in value or down in value. This is just you taking your money, lending it to the bank, and when the time is up, when you want your money back, they're still going to give you the 4,000 because it hasn't changed actual value. They're just giving you additional value over the length of time that you lend it to them.
So looking at my cash flow account, I've got $971. So
I'd say
I can't really afford that.
That sounds a little bit rich to me.
Exactly. Done.
Unless you want to borrow money, which you could, but the question is...
Probably not the wisest decision.
That's what I wanted to hear you say. You said exactly what I was hoping you would say.
Awesome.
Oh no, it's $10. I got some cash. And it didn't react to hitting buy, so oh well, wasn't meant to be. Payday for me. There we go. Oh, somebody's starting to get some really nice deals. 63.68% return on investment. 1,698 cash flow. I'll make the same offer. I think I'll get the same answer. My money is on Renat buying that one at present. Start asking questions and don't rely on the experts for solutions. Instead, think for yourself. And that relates to a book that Robert Kiyosaki wrote as well called Fake, which is a really good book for anybody that's interested. I don't think I have any gold coins. Let's hit sell just in case. See what happens. No. Okay, I think nobody has these Bailey, or they would have already hit sell because they would like to sell it.
Oh, I will quick sell.
You can hit sell, but I think it will say that you don't own any. So that might not work for you. But you can hit done, and then hopefully you get a better card than that next time.
Cool, yeah.
This was a good card, but hopefully you get a card that's valuable to you or useful to you next time. Let me Let me rephrase that. Cool. Okay, $20. I'm good, but thank you. $32-year-old Harvard grad.
I sure don't want to sell anything.
I'm good, but thank you.
You don't have my tip for you for $1?
I still prefer to sell higher. I have quite a few of them.
Okay.
But I prefer to wait. Yeah, I'll wait. Even though I do own most of them for more than 12 months by this stage, but I'm not in dire. Sorry?
It's your turn.
Oh, yes. Very good. I don't know. I was off in dreamland somewhere thinking about stocks. Let's have a look.
And I'm being eaten at the moment.
Sorry, you're being eaten?
Yeah, my puppy.
Aha.
He's finally got his spark back. He's been sick all day, so it's good to see him biting. Like, he's only playful biting, but yeah.
For a second there, I thought you meant mosquitoes, but in this case, it's your dog, and he's play biting, but not eating you, because that would be very worrying if he was like literally eating you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna buy a painting because I cannot resist it from a local artist. Support the local artists. There we go. I appreciate you calling me out for not taking my turn.
Oh, good.
We can learn a lot from dogs. Definitely say that.
Yeah, dogs are amazing.
Aha, this time Renat finally gets a big deal as opposed to a big dream. So this will give you 6,000 cash flow for a down payment of 150,000. So usually when you play the board game, when you get out of the rat race, you'll also get more cash. So it's easier to buy like multiple big deals. Whereas if you're in the rat race, your income is still relatively small. So it becomes more challenging. So in the official game, when you exit the rat race, when you exit the rat race, your income from before you or your cash flow from before you leave gets multiplied by 100. So if you were earning, let's say, 1,000, you'd be paid 100,000 per time that you go around. So it's easier to buy lots of those deals.
How do I leave the rat race?
Sorry?
How do I leave the rat race in this one?
So we haven't actually put the multiplier on when you're out of the rat race. So because usually what we want to encourage is to keep playing the normal game, because otherwise you're just buying dreams, you're just buying big things. And here we encourage you to get twice your passive income so that it's twice your expenses and then 3 times your expenses. And that you also get your accredited investor so that you have a minimum of $1 million excluding your own home. All ratios within range, minimum 7 real estate properties, and investing in 4 or more assets. So the actual out of the rat race is more reaching all of your milestones. So we've actually changed it a little bit in that sense. But you can, if you have over 100,000, you can look to buy one of those really big deals for a good cash flow. But it's more the milestones that we get you to aim for. And
what's the asset type? Is that like art or something?
So a minimum, for asset classes.
Yeah.
So
like
if,
I've got,
for example, gold or business or like if you have different diverse, so stocks, property, gold.
So the fourth one is commodity, like gold.
So there are lots of different ones. So it depends on which ones you choose, but the computer will automatically know if you're investing in 4 or more asset classes. So it's just classified each asset. And if you have 4 different from those classifications, it will automatically tell you.
It's your shot, Menno.
It's my turn, yes. And I just had an itch on my face and I scratched one of my scabs actually accidentally. Yay. Payday and price of gold soar. So we're back to $2,000 per ounce for gold. If anybody has gold, hit the sell button now before I hit done, because I'm about to hit done. 3, 2, 1, gone.
Menno, maybe you can show text statement. It has some stuff in it now.
I definitely have a lot in there, actually. So Bailey, after your turn, I'll show you my tax statement. So when you've had your turn, I'll quickly show you that one. I did something to my face, and then it was starting to heal, and then I accidentally nicked it. Wonderful. Yay. I look like Norman Gunston now. Oh,
So,
$30.
yeah, I feel like I should get in the rat race now because this one still keeps coming up.
How do you mean?
Well, I haven't really invested in stocks yet, so...
Okay, so do you remember I told you that it would be good to buy low and sell higher? Would you say that it's high or low right now?
High.
So,
Alright, so I'll miss it.
So, since you are completely new to shares, I would say yes, probably a good idea to not sell them or not buy any right now because they're quite high. What you want to do is you want to sell them opposite. So you want to sell them when they are lower and buy them when they're lower and sell them when they are higher.
So, sorry, my dog's barking. But if you're buying shares, is it good to buy like good shares or like cheap shares that don't do much?
So in real life, it's best to buy good shares that are cheap. And in the game, it is good to buy cheap shares because most of them will go up and down. But we've also started working on creating some things to make it more realistic. So if you go into the market section as well, so you can hit done, and then I'll show you the market section in just a second as well.
Yeah.
And then it takes you to trading view of the simulator still. And I think I finally got enough bleeding stock. Yay. So this is what real stock charts look like. And the stocks, we're going to make them more realistic eventually so that we take historic stock prices and then we'll give you a little bit of information about those stocks. And then based on the graph and based on the information, you'd have to make a choice on whether you think it will go up or down. And it will not really sit within its trading range because it's going to do what it's done in real life. And so it will make it much more realistic and it will give you a lot more criteria to look at so that you can make a better evaluation just like you would in real life, so that you actually learn the real skills of how stocks work and different strategies that you can use in order to be able to pick stocks. So you'd have more information like you have on the screen here when I get rid of whatever just jumped up. And then I got kicked out somehow. That's weird. All right, I'll have to come back in. The computer just kicked me out. Okay, let's join the room again. Okay, and then it's still Mladen's turn. So if you want to quickly go to reports and go to tax, and you can watch mine to start off with. I have to select the tax year. So I think, Bailey, you haven't been playing long enough yet to be able to see much on yours, but on mine, you'll be able to see that in the first year that I played, I had a certain amount of income. I had no capital gains tax. I had no deductions. So I had a certain taxable income, and then I paid my 10% tax. It will show me how much I paid, and I also got a refund because I paid more to start off with than what I was charged. And then in 2022, you'll see that all the numbers are there because I would have had capital gains, quite a lot of capital gains actually, and I have certain deductions from things that I have been able to deduct. And then that gave me a different kind of taxable income. And then you can see how much tax I paid, which was a little substantially higher than the year before. And you can see how much tax I've paid. And I've got the rest of the screen covering my tax refund, but you can see how much my tax refund was as well. So you can have a look when you've been playing for a bit longer. So next week or in 2 weeks' time, you'll be able to come and play with us again, and then you can continue from where you left off, and then eventually get to the point where you will have played long enough that you have some tax statement information as well, but just probably not yet because you haven't been playing long enough.
Yeah. So how long does the games go for?
So we usually officially go till about 8. Sometimes we go for a little bit longer, and then we'll do a debrief so that we can have a talk about what we learned and what was interesting. And I'll tell you about some of the things that we are working on and what we are doing. And then, yeah.
Cool. I'm trying to pull up my screen at the moment. My I can only see the screen in Zoom, and I'm trying.
That would be my screen if you see it in Zoom.
Yeah.
Did it kick you out like it did me? So I got kicked out before. I don't know why I got kicked out. I got kicked out from the game at a certain time.
I'm trying to minimize your screen. Is there a minimize hack on a standard laptop?
For Zoom?
Well, I just need to minimize. Hang on a minute. Control. I'm just gonna log out of Zoom and then come back in, but hopefully the cash flow is still playing.
Yes, all good. I'll keep an eye out for when you get back in. Just realized though that Bailey is still on her turn though. But it will automatically pass it on to the next player if she hasn't done anything for, I think it's about 5 minutes.
Well, the catch is we don't know how long she'll be out and what is the reason. That's why I put time limits 6 minutes. So if it's too long, we create a new room and we move to new room.
She's actually...
If you don't click anything in 10 minutes, they will sign you out automatically.
Yes. So she actually did pick up a paycheck. So she is still playing. She just isn't on the Zoom for a second. Ooh, 135 for a 3-2 rental condo. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, I still don't have any for more than 12 months. Wow. Ha, ha, ha. Okay. Then I guess not yet. It will happen later. Ooh, bed and breakfast. Oh, and that already worked. That already worked. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. So I've already hit select cards. Ah, here it comes. My computer is reacting relatively slowly to me hitting buttons today. Ooh, this is a nice one. I will say yes to this. I shall definitely say yes to this one. Ha ha ha. Oh, congratulations, Mladen.
Thank you.
I would offer you some cash, but I don't think that you need it. I think that you will probably be fine with
All right.
cash injection.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and Renat has been finding more deals and has overtaken me on the scoreboard and is also at infinite wealth months. Very nice. I need to find some bigger deals. And it might be my turn and I'm not paying attention because I was checking the scoreboard. Okay, what do I get? Ooh, that's less good. But if anybody wants to sell, feel free. But I'm going to hit done. Ooh. Do you have enough for that one?
No.
Oh, I just bought a big one myself.
Why didn't you sell it to me?
Oh, you could have maybe made a potential profit on that one or a commission on that one, Mladen. Save the ocean animals, 125,000. You hit another dream. There are just about the same number of dreams as there are actual businesses in there, but the random generator is definitely giving you more dreams for tonight. Oh, 45,000. That's not a lot for a condo.
Anyone wants to sell apartments?
To sell? Let's have a look. Let me have a quick look. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I'll sell one of them. And I'm back in the rat race, but I'm now an accredited investor and all my ratios are within range because I sold it. Oh, and it's my turn again too. That happened fast. Okay, I'm going to go for a greater than $100,000 deal. African photo safari. Okay, I'm going on a safari. I'll see you all when it's my turn again when I come back from Africa.
Done.
And done, yes.
Don't forget to log out first.
No, I won't be. I'll be in Africa for a very short period of time. Unless I like it there so much that I decide to stay long term. Ooh, everybody's getting a payday. Okay, get that one. Mladen sponsoring a lot of children. Ooh. Now this one is nice. Would you like to sell this one to me? Oh, you can't. Oh, you might be able to.
I've got so much money, I don't know where to put it.
That seems like a good place to put it.
And what is interesting, he did it by playing the game, not just going to auto trade trace and just jump 10 times income. So he built it during the game. So it's much more accurate.
Yes, absolutely.
More realistic than board game.
Yes. The board game just assumes, like, it skips a couple of years. But in this case, it's possible to just keep going and do the same thing that it skips the years for. Ooh, gold mine. Another good one. So that's now 100,000 passive income in total. Okay, the software company comes automatically. Almost back out of the rat race again.
Bill is gone.
Can I just resign already from my job? I keep getting downsized.
Okay, and I also have a minimum of 7 real estate properties, so I'm starting to hit all of my milestones. How are you going with your milestones, Renat?
Passive income, twice the expenses, accredited investor, minimum 7 real estate properties. I mean, I'm just waiting for the 4th asset class and basically to fix my ratios.
Haha. So you might need to sell something for the ratios because it's usually that you're over leveraged on your debt for the ratios.
Yeah.
Renat, go to
Performance.
Go to market trading view and buy some Bitcoin. That will give you another asset.
Yes, that's one way of doing it.
Market. I've never actually used that market page.
So you can actually go in and actual do some purchases there, but it doesn't like relate to the game, but it does relate to the asset that you own.
Okay, I bought some gold.
How's that? Did it work?
Yep. Just need to work on the ratios now.
Yeah.
So basically, I just need to start paying off the debts.
Yeah. I need to change profession. In profession, you at the moment, if you do update information, if you want to do yourself numbers, you change one number to start it from beginning. So I have to change it so it will accept changes what are on a screen. In that case, you'll be able to get rid of your salaries and wages as you can resign. Good idea.
Yes, so it'd be nice to have a button resign from work, and then you lose your earned income.
What do you think, Rinat?
I don't know. I'm downsized at the moment anyway.
Okay, can you click on profession button, please, Rinat? So now bottom screen will tell you you can add your own numbers and play against your own numbers. But currently, if I save it, I think it could actually override. So I need to check that how it goes back in backend. So either accept whatever is on a screen or just button resign.
What just happened? Oh my God.
Hit random and get a new profession, did you?
No, I clicked save and I lost all my assets, everything. Like what?
Yeah, you start from, I just told you. Please say you're going to start from beginning. But you were doing well.
How do I get back?
Continue to play. Build again.
That's unfair.
So I think you just experienced a financial crisis.
Yeah.
It's okay. I did that about. I think I did that about 6 weeks ago. I was demonstrating how to pick a profession, and then I was demonstrating how to change the card. And I accidentally clicked on save somehow. I don't know. And yep, I was like out of the rat race. Almost all of I was like in the same position as you, and then I had to restart.
Okay.
I had 300,000 cash flow, man.
So this is a really good simulation for life, because this kind of thing happens to people in real life as well, and they probably feel a little bit worse than you do, but you can already start to feel that feeling of so it's yes, it's a good experience.
Yeah. And I will change that to leave numbers, and simulation that you talk about could be special card.
And I'd love to see a button for quitting your job, and then it takes away your earned income, and you can keep your passive income, obviously, and then you can't get downsized anymore when you hit quit my job.
If you get it, it's just not effective. Who cares?
Yep. Speaking of downsized,
Okay, Bailey left. She's not coming back.
No, I think she had to go and do something else. But I did get the feeling that she really enjoyed it.
Depends on what your time. Are we continuing or we're debriefing?
So yes, I still have a few things to do, but I don't know how everybody else is situated for time. As Mladen goes fishing. We start to...
I'm going to be back to less than 5K deals, man. Actually, if that's okay with you, if you can just guide me through the profession page. I want to put my real numbers and then maybe we can go for the debriefing.
Yes. Okay, so if you go to the profession page, so obviously you can put the salary.
That's like a monthly amount, right?
Yes, everything is monthly.
That's pre-tax?
And that is pre-tax because you have your taxes in your expenses per month.
Okay. I'll just literally take my payslip here and...
Yes, you can just put all the details in.
Yeah.
And then...
And more accurate when we put Australian numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. So then obviously you can put in an estimate for how much you pay per child and what your other expenses are. You can put in obviously how much you have cash. You can put in how much your home is worth. You can put in the value of your car. And then you can put in any loan amounts for the car loan, the credit card, the home mortgage, the retail debt, the school loan. And then it will automatically calculate those. So this is how I stuffed myself up last time. I was showing somebody that the numbers change when you hit update, and I accidentally hit save instead of update. So if we take the car loan, if you're watching my screen, if I take the car loan, currently the car expense is $84.99. So let's say that we have the car loan to $2,000, and then I hit update instead of save. Then my car loan expenses have gone down to $42.49 instead of $83, I think it was. So that way you can make the adjustments in order to be able to put in your real life numbers.
Yes. So go back to 0 now.
And then I'm just wondering, Mladen, because I know that we could put in the loan amounts, the credit card, etc. We might need to have it so that you can also change the interest rate and the years to repay, because different people will obviously have different years left to repay their car loans and credit cards and different things.
Yeah.
Some people might still have 5 years on their car loan. Some people might only have 2 years left to pay. Some people might have 8-year car loans, depending on...
Passive income, I did put like government payment. Thinking about Centrelink, and it just went into passive income.
Yeah.
So what happens if you push update?
So if you push update, it will show you the revised expenses. So it will take all the automated calculations, and it will update that for you. And when you hit save, it will then allow you to play with those numbers.
So, but then you also lose like all your assets and stuff.
Yes, because it will just restart the game to let you play from your own numbers, because obviously you can't hold on to the assets from the last game if you're changing your personality and who you are.
I'm going to change this so it will keep saved. I'm going to change it.
So that you can keep the rest of the game. Because I think it would be good if when you play with your own real life numbers, that you're also able to input the actual assets that you have and any liabilities that you might have outside of those. So you can also put in any properties, any shares, any other things that you have. I think that's missing at the moment because some people obviously in real life, they already have shares. So when we used to play that version with the board game, people would write in their shares and their other assets that they already owned as investments.
Yeah.
So that can also be added.
Okay. I think I'm set up for the next game.
Okay, very good. Then shall we debrief and then we can make some more adjustments based on that. So I'm glad that that all came up and that Rinat, you are the first person since we've been playing the online version to want to play with your real life numbers, which is really, really amazing. I'm always super excited when the first person finally says, yes, I want to do that, because it is super powerful, because your brain literally looks at that similar to the wealth account. It is your brain that looks at your numbers and says, okay, so the janitor has low expenses, so it's very easy for them to get out of the rat race. The brain looks at the doctor card and says, well, the doctor is earning so much, they can just buy anything. So it's really easy for the doctor. They can start buying big deals practically immediately. So your brain looks at that and says, well, that's not realistic to me. But when you play with your real life numbers, you start to see, hang on a minute, I can buy shares, I can buy this, I can buy property, and now I'm getting a certain return on it. And so you start to believe, your brain says, well, it is potentially realistic for me to become financially free. It is realistic for me to do X, Y, Z, because you're doing it in the game. And the brain literally can't tell the difference between real life and a simulation. So when you are at the movie theater, if you're looking at the movie and there's a very suspenseful moment in the movie, your brain knows that it's just a movie and that it's actors and that nobody's actually dying. And yet you still get sweaty palms, or you might cry, or you do all these different things because the brain literally can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not real. Even you can logically tell yourself it's just actors, nobody really died, and yet still you have these reactions. Or a scary movie, you jump in your seat, even though you know it's just a movie. It's like, you know that something's going to happen, and you know that nothing's going to jump out and actually grab you, and yet you have these bodily experiences. And so it's the same with finances. Your brain can't tell the difference between reality and the game. And so when you play cash flow, and you play it especially with your real life numbers, your brain will literally say to itself, this is possible for me. Whereas before it might say, well, it's possible for the janitor or it's possible for the doctor, but that's not really me. But in this case, your brain says, wow, this is really me. I can actually do that. So it's really powerful.
I just wish in real life you would get these cards like MYT for you for $1 and then sell it for $40.
So that's the only other difference. But that's why we're looking at creating
how I made all the cash. And
so that's why. Yes, but that's why we're looking at creating the more realistic stock market, so that when you are buying stocks, that you are looking at historic graphs and information from historic times in order to be able to have the same kind of information that you would have if you were looking at a stock chart right now, in order to be able to then evaluate whether it will go up and down. And it will also go up and down randomly, as opposed to, okay, the trading range is 5 to 40. Oh, it's $1. And then it turns up $40 a couple of turns later and you make lots of money. So in this case, what it does is it makes it much more realistic, so that it is easier for you to be able to learn the skills similar to what it's like in real life.
Yeah.
So you make similar returns to real life, so that the simulation is also much, much more accurate.
This will actually turn into more realistic. When you get to the $1 share, it can drop to zero. So you lose everything.
So depending on which stocks we put in there, absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of them could go bankrupt.
Yeah. The other question I had, like, say if I want to play this with my friends, can I just invite them to the same thing, or like, is there a subscription, or like, how does it work?
Yes, there is.
So there already is a subscription, and we are looking at also making some adjustments to that. But the subscription already exists, and I'm not on the right page for that right now. So if you sign,
you're not sharing your screen again.
That's interesting. I think it must have switched itself off in that case.
Yeah, you were freezing at some point on Zoom.
So I think that just automatically happened. But if you go to Cash Flow Simulator and go to pricing,
yep.
See that there's a 1-day free trial.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a $5 per month currently. And for that $5 per month, you can do all the same things, but you're also able to come back. And if you have friends that are also members, then they can also come and play with you. And you can do set up rooms together with them. And you have the taxation included. Everything else is included exactly the same way. And yes, we're going to start promoting that a little bit more. But we just wanted to, first of all, also play a little bit and get as many people as we can to come and play so that we can make a couple of adjustments still to be able to make those improvements that we were talking about today. But you can already come and, go from start again or start with your own real life numbers in order to be able to then practice and see what else you can do. So that is definitely available, yes.
And I can basically just sit down and play myself.
And you can also sit down and play yourself, yes. If you don't open up a room, you can just sit down and continue playing. And when you go into a room, obviously the game that you were playing by yourself transfers across to the room. If you're in the room and you want to start a new game, you can reset and start a new game, or you can continue playing from what you've already played in your own room by yourself. So there are different possibilities in that sense.
If you're a single player just by yourself, you don't need to be in a room. It just automatically. You don't need to be in a room. In your room, you need to be in a room only if you play with someone else.
Yeah. Nice. Amazing.
Okay, then would you like to start with your debrief on what you learned from today or anything else you'd like to share? Because this is the most important part where we take stock of what happened throughout the game and what we learned and any insights that we had.
Yeah, well, basically, like I said, I wish in real life I had deals like this where you could buy shares for $1 and sell it for 40, because that's how I made my capital basically. And then from then on, it was easy. You just basically look at the good deals, and if it's good, you just buy it. That's it. I mean, that's the only problem at the moment. If I had enough capital, I know how to make money.
So, yes. So one thing that I want to start doing is we're doing cash flow once every 2 weeks at the moment. And I'm thinking of setting up an investment club, analysis club of real estate and stocks on every second week in between the cash flow games. And then we might also set up a second game throughout the week, but we'll see how we go. And then, we'll start having a look at how to find some of those deals and how to do different things and how to build up the capital in that club. It'll be a little bit like a mastermind so that the people that are there will be able to do the same things that I do in my other masterminds that I have for myself, which are finance-based. I also have a couple of language masterminds so that we can set that up so that everybody can work together in order to be able to learn together, share resources, share the ability to be able to analyze different sections so that everybody can bring those in together so that we can find more than what you can find on your own. So there's a couple of different things that we're looking at implementing there, and always looking to get questions and ideas for things that we can add in order to be able to add more value to the cash flow game and what we do next to it as well.
Nice.
And yes, as your little one grows up, also be able to offer lots of different things so that he can have a head start in life compared to others who have not necessarily learned some of these things at a younger age, which can be so unbelievably advantageous.
Yeah,
Money University for Kids is operational.
Yes.
Gotta check out that.
Yes.
I mean, I work at a school. I was thinking of making something of sorts for, like our year 11 and 12, so or even like the alumni club, because that's the biggest deal. I mean, I'm 35 now, and okay, I know some things, but I wish I started earlier. So the biggest advantage in this game is time, right? I mean,
yes.
Markets come and go, opportunities come and go, but if you have like 20 years compared to like 10 years time, you can make twice more mistakes and still be profitable.
Very true. Absolutely. Actually, it's interesting to say that because I've long wanted to do more with schools and younger people. So I'm always very open to setting up games for schools. There is a lady that I need to get back in touch with that used to come many years ago with her daughters. And she now homeschools, and she has a homeschooling group. And just before the lockdown, we actually organized a game for them. And yes, with lockdown, we unfortunately haven't been able to continue. But they're still very keen to have their homeschool group continue doing cash flow things. And we were going to set up a mastermind for them as well. So once the lockdown finishes, we're probably going to set that back up for them. And if the school that you work for would be interested, I'd be very happy to work together with them to be able to offer something so that they can learn about cash flow as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the biggest, I think, disadvantage. Kids learn all this, like, history, math, language and whatnot, but they don't actually learn the real, useful knowledge.
That will make an actual real big impact on them so that they can actually have a better life, because history doesn't give you much of a better life. It can help you to avoid something, but not really achieve what you want. So yes, fully agree. Okay, then I'll be in touch to see what kind of ideas you also have, so that we can build up on that. And we'd love to have you as a member so that you can play more often, and feel free to invite your friends. And yes, any ideas, feel free to pass them on, because we want to be able to make it more realistic and do more things with the game. And then really appreciate seeing you again, and look forward to seeing you more often. And hope that the lessons that I shared today were very valuable as well, like the jar system and things like that. And then I'll pass on to Mladen for your debrief and your lessons for today.
Well, for me, it was more watching a reaction on game itself, how people understand it. So it changed a little bit. Probably when you wait for a card, you need to select card or a deal. So probably it's more intuitive.
Yes.
Information for Rinat, because he is very close where I am. I'm in Liverpool. So you're in different part of city. So what you're doing in the city area, we can do it in Liverpool as before.
Yes.
In Liverpool library, for example. And we both of us have cash flow for kids. So we can start with that on both sides because of geographic positioning. So we can have more than one group. You're usually in a city or in a Burwood, but it's not in this area.
Yes.
So probably Rinat would be interested in that, to be active there as well. What do you think about Rinat?
Yeah, that's great. I've been thinking of doing something like that myself, because I mean, like I said, I've been doing some stuff with investment for like 2 years, and I already have colleagues asking me all about it. So I'm all about sharing the knowledge.
Yeah. Yes. It was operational before lockdown in library, so we can start again. No, in RSL.
In the RSL,
but in library should be for kids. So it's a little bit different experience when you play a board game and then digital version. So both should be present.
Yes. Okay, and then I am extremely happy when everybody turns up and when we get such great feedback and that everybody's learning so many amazing things. And there's more things that I want to share. So I'm looking forward to very soon putting up some more videos with my whiteboard, my brand new whiteboard, so that I can share some more lessons and different other things that I've experienced over the years that have helped people with their investing and different other things. So I'll put together some more videos. That motivates me to put together more videos. So I can explain some of the terminology, some of the different things, and some strategies that I've learned, and other people that I've learned from, and some of the things that other people have done that have brought them success with their finances. So that is where I come from mainly, and that is what I am very keen to do. So I appreciate everybody turning up and for being able to share some great things. And thank you for all of your questions and ideas and for playing along today.
Great.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to the next meeting.
Okay. Wonderful. Then thank you for coming. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. And yes, I will be in touch. And if we had a few more, well, actually, I'm thinking of, I think, did we already do this last week? Because I think we were talking about that we were going to get everybody that was interested in stocks to actually have a look at some stocks, and people who were interested in real estate to see if they could find a property. I was wondering whether you'd actually done that, Rinat. I'm not sure if anybody else did, but I want to start doing more of that and building in more things to bridge the gap between playing the game and actual real life, so that we can get people doing some analysis, some research on actual stocks, actual businesses. But we might see if we can bridge the gap with actual classes in between the events. So in between the games, every second week, having an actual presentation where we will talk about and do analysis together. So I might go out and find a property, and other people might find a property, and then we'll actually analyze them together. So looking at setting up something like that rather than just bringing it in here and discussing afterwards.
Well, I actually already invest in stocks, so I have my ETFs and stocks that I like. So I just have like a fortnightly plan where I put down like 10% of my income to buy shares and stuff. And for the properties, I have a membership with Freedom Property Investors. So whenever it's time for me to do the next reevaluation and whatnot, I just go to them and they give me good deals.
Yes, I know Freedom Properties. So my partner actually ended up going to Freedom Properties, and she just bought her first property over in Queensland. So she's done quite well with that one so far. It's been 6 months and it's already appreciated quite a lot. And we haven't even got the first tenant in there yet, but it's already appreciated a lot. So it's been good.
Yeah, they had really nice deals. We got our property like last year, and even as you buy it, even before it's built, basically you already like have some capital gains in there.
Yes.
And last year was amazing in terms of property prices. So I think we've made some like 150K.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, then I'm going to let everybody go, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch, and I'll put together.
Menno, can you stand 5 more minutes?
Yes, I will stay on for 5 more minutes. Yes.
Okay. Thank guys. I'll sign out.
Thank you.
Okay. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, he's also saying bye.
Yes.